Victoria Espinosa, Jonathan Shea, and Fred Cruz, the listed winners of bids to conduct games of chance at the 75th Liberation festivities. But Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan says when it comes to who really won Liberation gambling, what you see is not what you get.
This year, there's no requirement that whoever is investing, that they be all come up front and see who they all are. So that's why I'm saying maybe next year when we do the revisit, because we will revisit these rules, that we will put those provisions in.
So do you feel like these two winning bidders are really just like a face behind somebody else's money?
Probably, most likely.
Now, on Section 4, Business Application and Fees, number 2, names and addresses of 5 individuals over the age of 18 who are primarily responsible for conduct of the games. What does that even mean? I think it should be clarified that anybody working inside the House of Cards or Games of Chance must have a police clearance turned in and on file. Nobody working inside the the House of Cards or the casino should be in there without having provided a police clearance. Limiting it to 5, what is the point of that? So we got 35 people handling money, and the person that's sweeping the floor, the person that's taking out the trash are the only ones we've got names on. We need to have the transparency and accountability. These are the people that are working in here, and they've all been cleared so that we're not putting convicted felons or sex offenders or anybody else in there. So it's very important that we follow the guidelines that all of you ran on, transparency and accountability.
Two names listed under winning bidder Jonathan Shea's organization that may raise some eyebrows: Mongmong Totu Mighty Mayor Rudy Paco and Barragata Vice Mayor Jesse Bautista. Sablan confirms the two are part of the winning bidders team, and he doesn't think it's a conflict of interest.
They're part of that organization that has to bid.
So Mayor Paco and Vice Mayor Bautista are part of the Jonathan Shea's organization?
Yes.
But they're not going to share in any profits that are made from the...
No, their involvement is that it's for their community, not for them personally.
KUAM News got a hold of Shea, who won the bid to conduct Big and Small at the Liberation Carnival. Mayor Paco and Vice Mayor Bautista are listed as, quote, responsible individuals to manage the conduct of games. Shea tells KUAM he met Mayor Paco at a fundraiser. At the time, bidders were required to partner with a nonprofit, but that was thrown out when new rules and regs were made.
I asked him, if you were to ever do the carnival, the House of Cards, would you, or Big and Small and whatnot, would you be, partner up and whatnot? And he said, yeah. And so I said, okay, and then to find out we don't even need a nonprofit, but I helped my commitment to him, and here we are.
Shea said Paco and Bautista's involvement with his organization had nothing to do with him winning the bid. He adds his group outbid the next bidder by $20,000. He tells KUAM News Paco and Bautista will not be compensated for their involvement.
No, not compensated. I mean, what I did tell him was, obviously we would donate to his, because is it the nonprofit? We wouldn't call it compensation. It's more of a donation.
Both Paco and Bautista declined an on-camera interview, but both said they put their names on the bid to get money for their villages. Sablan tells KUAM Paco and Bautista did not invest money with Shea. Paco says he hopes if Shea makes money, he'll donate some Paco can use for playground upgrades in his village. But Shea says he's not so sure he will donate to Paco or Bautista.
Well, that would depend on, obviously how much is brought in, So I can't give you a definite answer on that right now.
We also asked Shea what experience he had in running games of chance at the carnival.
I have a game room, and then, I've personally been gambling all my life. I don't know if that counts.
Paco and Bautista aren't the only ones listed under Shea's winning bid. Kevin Ju and Andy Yao also listed. We asked Shea if he could provide some background on his investors.
I can't disclose that as well. That's those are separate people. I mean, I can't be like giving out information about them without their consent.
KUAM files show Kevin Ju was a board member for the Overseas Chinese Association Center, which was accused of alleged money laundering and illegal gambling operations as part of a federal investigation in 2010. In that investigation, the FBI was cracking down on illegal gambling operations of the Overseas Chinese Association Center at Paradise Bingo at the Royal Orchid, the MGM Spa, and the Crazy Horse Strip Club. KUAM files also show John Shea's father, Jimmy Shea, was convicted in federal court for his part in a criminal conspiracy to conduct an illegal gambling operation at the MGM Spa. Meanwhile, Sablan says the pressure is on to succeed since mayors fought so hard for games of chance, but he adds at the end of the day, the Liberation festivities aren't all about gambling.
Now, I've mentioned this several times. It hasn't been picked up yet, but I hope that you include it. It's funny how when you go to events down at EPOW, you have to go to the cash cage to buy script. And you use script at all the vendors inside the EPOW. I'm recommending that under the section on the script, that the sole seller of script will be rev and tax. That way we have an audit trail. When people come and buy script, they're given a receipt. When people redeem script, they're given a receipt. So it creates an audit trail, and at the same time, rev and tax can issue 1099. So if I come in, if I buy $100 of script and I cash out with $10,000 worth of script, they can issue me a 1099 for tax purposes, so that we make sure that the taxes are paid. And then we have a daily transition, because the vendors will have to buy the script to man their daily cash, and they have to redeem script. So if a vendor starts the day out with a cash bank of $1,000, and at the end of the day he redeems $25,000 worth of script, we have an auditable, taxable event. So we can make sure that we are getting the full business privilege tax and an accounting for the taxes to be paid by the vendors. Having vendors selling script or other people selling script outside of rev and tax, it's at cross purposes. The purpose of rev and tax is to make sure that appropriate taxes are collected and paid and accounting. The vendors, their goal is to make as much money as they can. So if I go to a vendor and give him $1,000, what's to stop him from reporting $250 in sale of chips? So you see, by taking the vendors, you're taking the temptation out of the equation. So if you're going to sell this package to the community as something that is focused on transparency and accountability, having all the cash go through one source, and that would be the rev and tax cash cage. We make sure that all monies are accounted for, all taxes are collected, and all taxing events are recorded. Then the same thing goes if there's an alcohol vendor in there, because now if somebody's selling alcohol in there, he's going to come to the rev and tax, he's going to give him $1,000 for his cash bank, and at the end of the day, he's going to come in and give $3,000 to $4,000 worth of chips. Again, transparency and accountability, audit trails, and make sure that proper taxes are collected.